little animations that I then talk over, and it then kind of leads into providing a platform to be able to kind of talk about the real issues about the ocean. So this, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do this one and talk over it, and then I'm going to show you what we did with the members forum. So I did a similar thing but with different messages, and I'll explain the context of that, which happened a few days ago. And then I'm going to show how we stitch content together from the ocean layer in an animated tour that can be narrated for particular themes, and this one will be on marine mammals, and it's how we opened and launched the second Marine Mammal Protected Area conference in Martinique. So basically, where I started this one with the Commonwealth is to say, you know, where I want to start is actually by giving you a complete perspective on this about where we really are. And it's amazing to think that it's just 40 years ago that we saw the Earth from afar from our nearest neighbour. Small, predominantly blue, beautiful, but very finite, hanging in the dark void of space. But of course, roll on 40 years from that time and things have changed. That's become a digital ocean. 1 billion people can access it. And with that, I can take you, the Commonwealth representatives, to your oceans. And we can actually see what's at stake in the discussions here. The Indian Ocean, shallow, warmest ocean of the world. The Pacific Ocean, the blue heart of the planet, dotted by small island states. The Atlantic Ocean, with its characteristic sort of erratic zip-like fastener of the mid-Atlantic ridge down the middle. And then climate-compromised oceans, like the Arctic. So, what have we got to say about this? What actions can you think about taking in relation to protecting the blue heart of the planet? And that brings me rather neatly, with a little help from Google, to our meeting here in London. And at that point, all the ambassadors went, whoa. And so it's kind of, you know, at that point, you've kind of got them in a nice place where you can tell them stuff. So then I'll show you what we then did, if I can get out of this. Ooh, I'm going to get out of that. Can you get me out of that, please? Thank you. Okay, so let's just pick that up. So that's where we landed. So I then go, so where are we with this? 40 years ago, it was the era of ocean exploration. We've learned an awful lot in that time. We now see the ocean as a place that we go on holiday. We know it, it's familiar to us, but it's got many other values. It's a place of amazing beauty, and this is the west coast of New Caledonia, made a World Heritage Site just a couple of years ago, with these amazing hurricane reefs. It's a place that does things for us that we never really think about. We're kept warmer in Europe by the Gulf Stream. But it's also a place that has really unseen processes of magnitude we don't think about that replenish the ecosystems, a sandstorm brushing off the Sahara into the middle of the Atlantic, feeding the plankton communities with nutrients. And there's things in the ocean we don't give a thought to that are the energy plants that recycle things back into the environment. Burrowing shrimps, echinoderms, clams that live in the sediment, and worms. They all are actually part of the engine that feeds a process that enables us to have our productivity. And then, of course, you've got to remember how ever disconnected you are to the ocean, that every breath you take, as Sylvia says, connects you back to the ocean. And we now know that this is about the ocean. It's not, when we think of where the oxygen comes from, the most abundant organisms in the world that do this are not some species of tree or variety of grass. They're actually something called Prochlorococcus, which is shown in pale green here, which is the most photosynthetically abundant organism on the planet. They exist in several octillion, and for those of you with a numbers head, I think that's 10 to the 27, an unfathomably large number. So next time you're passing the ocean, give thanks to it. So that's the kind of, and we kind of get them in, and so I then have all the ambassadors sitting around going, listening to every word. The consequence of that is we've now got a number of Commonwealth countries doing more for the ocean. So they've now contacted, it's called ComSec, it's Commonwealth Secretariat in London, that gives an advisory service, and since then we've had at least 2 countries, 2 working together in partnership, unusually, and another one separately, actually saying they want to do more, they want to deal with some of the things that we were talking about. So this, we know this kind of can have a resonance and can have a real impact. We did a different one for this meeting. So what happened